Okay, electric vehicles have exploded, taking over valuation to companies like Volkswagen and General Motors, which all make millions of cars. Michelle Schneider from Market Gauge is here for more on this topic. Michelle, lovely to see you. What's driving this growth, and does the infrastructure bill have anything to do with it now?
Well, yes, it does in terms of the tax credits and the commitment to build more charging stations and the whole administrative policy along with what just happened globally in terms of the commitment to actually continue with EV and clean energy. However, that doesn't necessarily explain the move that we've seen in Rivian because, as you just mentioned, it against companies like Ford or Volkswagen or Tesla even that have made millions of cars, they've only made a couple of hundred cars and yet the stock has soared. So you can take some of the credit to the EV space in general, but a lot of it has to do with just this sort of new way of the reality perception being based more on image than substance. And even though it corrected today, I think it continues to be hot in terms of its interest, but it really is amazing that we have so many areas of the market now going up based on image as opposed to anything really foundational.
That's a really interesting point you make there. So do you think it's more about to be seen that they're doing the right thing more than actually caring whether they are?
I think that's definitely part of the image. What's really happened in a lot of different areas, especially, it started out this way even in the cryptocurrency space, even before people understood that there was something tangible to it as some kind of a source of value. It was the image. I mean, we see this over and over and over again where things go crazy because of the perception of the fact that it's worth something, even though many old-timers cannot see the value. And that's why the number crunchers are scratching their head on something like Rivian. How could this be? But this is sort of a new wave.
Interesting, isn't it, as we watch this space? Now, in the clean air space, you like rare earth minerals like mountain pass, but will the push for alternate energy be a big theme for 2022, do you think?
I think so. As I said, it has a lot of support, not just from the administration. It is definitely part of the infrastructure package. We know Biden recently spoke with President Xi of China, so there was some level of conversation about working with each other there. And I believe that I was listening to your lead story, even what's happening in Canada with that rare weather as being blamed by climate change. I think it's pretty obvious that this is the direction that all of the administrations want to go in. And definitely, even though we've proven over the last couple of years that alternative energy is not enough to really supplant energy needs when things get rough, and we still need oil and gas, that's definitely the direction, with the goal of it being in another 3 to 10 years, really, I think, dominating over traditional fossil fuel.
Interesting. Now, the debt ceiling limit is obviously back in conversation now. Once again, you and I spoke about this just months ago. What's going to happen from here, do you think?
It's so hard to really understand the politics of it all because, as you know, it becomes an issue until 1 minute after no one wants to be the blame for the default of the U.S. government. It isn't. So if we're going back to playing that political football around the debt ceiling, we know that Janet Yellen is coming out with all the warnings about the credibility of the United States being on the line. As we know, the government just spent a lot more money with the infrastructure package, wants to spend more money, which is, of course, going to give the other side reasons for them to think that the credibility of the United States is already in question by the mere fact that our debt is so high and our spending so high. So we'll see. But I suspect that at the end of the year, with market vulnerability anyway, even with the indices near all-time highs, we'll probably get resolved.
Interesting stuff, isn't it? Michelle, it's always great to catch up with you. Thank you so much for the market latest.
Thank you, Holly.